Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host Imperial Dane, the one and only Master Propaganda Heroes like Defender of the Fatherland. Off you tell 1v1 on road to Tunis, in the west stands Thien, fighting for Germany, Deutschland, here with the 21st Panzerdivision. In the east is Tonimontana with the British Empire, the Commonwealth here with the 1st Armoured Division, and some Australians here to support him. Thien also jumps round to Belgrade with his breakthrough. It's certainly become increasingly the most, sort of, at least from my perspective, played battle group at the higher tiers. And it's not because of the MP40s. Let's just get that one out of the way. As always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters for the continued generous and heroic support of the Propagandacast. Keeps making all these videos possible. And a big thanks to those who keep commenting and liking on them. Helps out immensely with the YouTube algorithm, spreads out the word further. And of course, keeps the cat from biting off my fingers. So, dull pioneers, grenadiers versus sappers and an Australian section. Tony likely going to commit heavily to the Australians. Definitely something that's become more popular as of late with certain bricklayers, as they can rather effectively waltz all over German infantry once they get going, due to the variety of bonuses they get versus infantry, basically.
Australian infantry.
Second Australian section, I'm at any moment out for Tony. There we go. More Aussies out. Pioneers poking northward, southwards we got Grenadiers, and we got an MD-42 there for Thien. Perhaps anticipating it and hoping to just catch the Australians, like, you know, at a bit of a safer distance. So, of course, if it gets flanked by the Australians, it can very quickly collapse. So, it's obviously not all smooth sailing there with the mighty MD-42. North here, sappers busy, grabbing point string, also busy, hard work there. Got the Australians moved out. And he's going to push for that fuel point, sees it in the name of Das Fast, an aggressive push by Thien, completely catching Tony off guard here, in part because, well, with the Australian build there, he does have a bit of an issue with the cooldown, meaning he can't quite as many troops out in the field as fast, so there are some gaps in his map control and his overall presence there, which Thien here can then exploit, though at this point, he's probably not entirely where he's suspecting it. Machinery positioning again. Got the fuel points. That's going to put a bit of a dent there in the early fuel income there. Tony, very good again. There goes Sam's going forward to quickly route it. Third Australian section out here for Tonimontana. Well, how he goes for a fourth one if 3 is enough for him? So, of course, an excellent question. And he's been forced to engage with the Australians. Lee Enfield's going at it, though worth noting, while I believe they had it here depicted with the Lee Enfield Mark IV, they actually used the short magazine Lee Enfield Mark III. Fun side now. Not a big detail, not an important detail, but it's one I nonetheless felt like pointing out. Jones going for the Grenadiers here. Caught on the own. The Grenadiers have shown a lot more here with the MD-40. Definitely doing well, but without the MD-42 of the Grenadiers, the Australians absolutely beat the Grenadiers silly, and I don't think he used the marksman ability either. Almost had the Australians there, though. Can soon go for a fourth one, but will he do that? I mean, my guess is he likely is. I was probably going for more sappers at this point, attacked up, we're going for Vickers, but so far, though, Tony is seeming a bit more confident in this engagement, trying to stay clear of the MD-42, so just, you know, tries to set up there. Need to retreat these Grenadiers, while they're getting absolutely crumbled there by the Australians. And just flooding better resources here, not calling more units, not taking out, not going for a medic station. That could also be a good investment. Third Grenadiers could of course punch more firepower, and we got breakthrough ability activated. Thumbs up. Very strong ability there in the breakthrough battle group, which is probably one of the reasons it actually is so powerful, popular. I was about to say powerful, the battle group. Wouldn't call it powerful, but it is probably, I mean, there's a reason why it is the most, I think, one of the more popular ones at the high levels there. MP40s, you have to go for the MP40s. Wow, you don't really see them that much, though they can occasionally happen versus the Australians, as the MP40s can seemingly help a bit there. At the end, they're taking up, even as Tony is also taking up himself, going to the platoon command post. Also good harassment here by Thien, hitting the fuel points using the breakthrough ability, of course, this quick block terrain. And seeing the same here, so very focused strategy by Thien, looking to minimize the fuel income for the Brits as much as possible, ensuring they can't put some hit out a fast Humber against them, which is typically one of the things George really wants to look out for. is not just the Australians, but it's the Humber armoured car working in conjunction with them. As you know, in general, it's quite good. But then you say factor in the flare it can fire off there, and the Australians can really do some intense damage too. So by slowing down the fuel income, Thien achieves like multiple goals effectively by just slowing down the Humber. Most of this gold by including just keeping his men in one piece. But we can see a Tonimontana, of course, not, taking that line down. He's doing his best to return the favour to his opponent. It's definitely a tough spot to be in again, fuel-wise. No Humber anytime soon. He's going to need probably some more troops, if anything. Pushed off the Western fuel by the MD42 team, aggressive moving in. And we got the 2-1 here. Thien is really looking to leverage that fuel advantage got over his opponent. Can, not only slow down his opponent's light vehicle, but get his out as fast as possible without any significant challenge. You do get a 2-pounder gun, but it won't be able to hunt down the 2-1, but to effectively save a Humber armoured car here. So really tough spot here overall for Tonimontana, as Thien seemingly has seen through it here and is hitting back hard. Up to that. Tony, though, I think really wants some healing. We do get a recce package up there for the Australians, giving them obviously a bit of a raise in DPS, but also a bit of a bonus versus units in cover. Still, despite everything, he's actually the one inflicting heavier casualties upon his opponent, at least for now. Said, Thien is able to play around that, but just playing to the rest of the map. So, thumbs up there. Granny charging forward, Australian letting loose here. Then he's in cover again versus the unit with scope rifles. The cover bonus is somewhat negated. Not a piece of design, by the way, personally a huge fan of. Be more likely done by tactics, or at least flamethrowers. I think the unit can just do it from a safe distance like this. I think is personally not good ideal. Southside's having forwards here. Tuning can soon go for the Humber. Armoured car versus Thien and the 21st punch. He would almost had the MD42 of that. Really close call there. Got the medic bunker upgrade for Thien and Deutschland, and we got the Humber armoured car there on the way for Tonimontana. One of many armoured cars the British would use throughout the war, as they ended up going for quite a few of them. Humber, you had the AC, and you even had, obviously a stack count as well there, just some of them. The British were fairly big fans of actually upgunning these. Another side note.
Humber, 2-pounder anti-tank guns available.
Humber out. He would benefit from medic station and maybe a bit more infantry as well here versus his opponent. So again, I mean, we could like to see a mechanized assault group next to this build. This shows here of the more bombing type, 2-1 upgrade to the 2-3. Humber dashing in here, Granny's narrowly keeping the cover here by threatening to Panderfaust. It's sharp play there by Thien.
have taken our territory.
But with the arrival of the Humber armoured car, things are going to get tougher for Thien, who currently does not have any anti-tank weapons whatsoever. He is going for Jaegers. Set the Humber really sort of can punch through Germans quite fast. Defense like score wipe, so it definitely adds some pressure there. But that said, 8-minute mark really is, I think, a success there for Thien. Means he has like more time to until then to like you get more stuff in the field. Does mean the Humber is not going to be quite as fully disruptive in a sense. It is still going to be very disruptive. But compared to like hitting it much sooner, Thien has that more time to like get some resources going into map control. He isn't quite as much as trouble. There you go. 4th Australian section out there for Tonimontana. Also got the medic station up there. Thumbs up. Not actually worth it, to be honestly. Once it gets the victory point, withdraw them, get them healed up because they're all on health. I mean, just take a look at the health state. 2 of them are basically just going to like need to be sneezed at by the Germans. 3rd one is, well, sneeze and a half. And there you go, 2-1. There you go. See there? He dropping the sneeze and a half guy. Crikey, they got Bruce half in a sneeze. Always told him he should have taken his vitamins. And he's going for the Grenadier here with the Australians closing in. Jaegers also on the scene with the for the freeze. Up north here, Humber diving right past. And we got the 2-1 rushing southwards here. looking to, of course, get some distance between the Humber armored car and, of course, get the Jaegers to cover up.
We've lost. Australian infantry are in reserve.
Benny's up north withdrawing. There you go, healing up here with the 2 Australian sections. Some infantry training course would be an excellent idea here next for Tonimontana. Lines been laid down the roads. Here's Sapper with the 2-1 support elements there for Thien. That's going to be a bit of a flak panzer here. Definitely A. But Humber and B threaten a lot of infantry. So versus the current state here of Tonimontana, that building is going to be fantastic. Got the Aussies moving in here, routing the pioneers to get to the training units. No sign of the mechanized assault group here, which tend to be, in my experience, quite popular with Wehrmacht builds because you get up fast starts from and a half tank. But an interesting move game so far has not committed to it.
Infantry training is underway, Commander.
There we go, people flak panzer being rushed out here with breakthrough. Oh dear, got right to the range of fire. The panzer fast engine blown up. And with people about to hit, this is very likely going to cost the Tonimontana's Humber armored car unless you can, like, you know, bring in enough support, and that does not look to be the case here. There you go, people rushing in.
Infantry training completed.
Troops are being routed, suppressed. Do get some smoking attempts to, like, buy some time here. Unfortunately, not quite working. Oh, is it? 2-pounder gun remains all the way back here as he's busy blasting machine gun nasty. I guess he's just... I know it's the attempt at their reserve rule. Pulling up with a 6-pounder gun. Goes up deal with the flak panzer. Another breakthrough activated there by Thien. Got the flak panzer rolling ahead here.
Victory point under enemy
There's one joining in, round to the 2-pounder gun, picks it, flying the flak panzer, allowing the 223 here, that is, the 321 to get away there. Got the 2-pounder gun flanked, 6-pounder gun is almost ready here. But the anti-tank crew is getting eviscerated in a matter of seconds here.
They're on standby for orders.
And of course here, having gone all Australians, it does lack any sort of ways like for them to deal with light vehicles on tank there, since they don't get any anti-tank grenades, have any sort of anti-tank weapons. Gun, they're trying to get range, 2-pounder gun recruit here. And grenadiers on the flank here, threatening there the situation up north here. Australians push back against the grenadiers and gets the White Betty to.
2-pounder anti-tank gun
Definitely where they start really packing a punch. They're already like 23 kills inflicted. I mean, that's more than half of all the casualties inflicted has been that by that one Australian section has been upgraded. So, and he's making a run there with a 2-pounder gun. That's it. That's the Australians here. This is actually a bit of an awkward move. You can see that they almost had the Grenadiers squad white, but also again, they can easily just rip apart here the 2-pounder gun. As Australians apparently are trained in just the art of firing bolt-action rifles at a good, nice, brisk pace. And the MD-42 went down. He actually went into the building that was so low and healthy. But showing himself like a habit of blasting with anti-tank guns. That was a tactical error there by Thien in a higher, shall I say, scale there. That was definitely not something he should have done there. Still, Thien has great map control right now.
We can conduct supply runs to secure additional resources.
And just great use of the breakthrough ability in his other units, like, you know, playing around Tonimontana as much as possible here.
Where are we going? Orders, jump to it, lad.
Got a bit of quiet. We also got a big lead here for Thien over Tonimontana so far. 157 versus just 472. That's like a massive gap there. Definitely something there for Tony to overcome there. Center Grenadiers been fought back up the MD-42, number 2. Replace the one that got lost there. Another 6 Pentagon
The
here.
nearby infantry will be reinforced, Commander.
Definitely concerned about the Wirbelwind, but also very likely showing that he's concerned about the possibility of more Wirbelwinds than his opponent.
The beggars are threatening a
So he
victory
definitely
point.
wants to build up an anti-tank gun park there.
They're having a go.
But it is a rock here. And obviously it's really useful. So the Andalusian infantry and machines about to get wrecked. Another machine gun. Thien definitely starting to take some heavier hits, and he's actually just rushing straight hit for the Panzer Company.
Command points available
He
for
did
use.
go for the mechanized assault ability, but I doubt he's going to use it.
Anti-tank weapon and crew on the field.
Big German push. We could see another grenadiers go down. 2 to 3 they're running some decent support here.
Oh, tank over here.
The beggars are threatening a victory
Tony's forces are taking a bit of a hoisting there, but he's holding on nonetheless. Against God's Panzer Company right around the corner. Moved a bit too fast here. Obviously, when it happens, like you set up like a series of capsules, and then for whatever reason, unit gets drawn away there.
Far too close for comfort. Take it head.
Either because you messed up or because something went wrong with the waypoints you set up. There you go, 2 3 forced away here. Medics, meanwhile, just trying to get the grenadiers to safety before they get shot at by the British. Further south, got some Australians there poking about.
Weapon teams have finished their training, Commander.
And we got team weapon training out even Tonimontana on top of the infantry training. Obviously, Australian
A
sections
victory point is
really
being
benefit from
overrun.
training, in particular once they get the high levels of veterancy and some scope rifles, they can really start wreaking havoc of enemy troops.
Victory point is in enemy
Also,
hands.
the anti-tank guns they're having training is going to be a headache and a half here for Thien's armor, in particular once they also get the higher levels of experience going. But so far, despite all the potential, long-term value propositions that Tonimontana is setting up versus Thien, though, continues to just excel on map control. He's handling his opponent very deftly in this sense. Thumbs up. That said, I think Thien needs to give up on the idea he can use the buildings against the Brits. He almost lost another grenadier unit there to just a collapsing building. Nasty stuff here. Got 2 Australian sections with scope rifles and gets stars from Thien. 2 thumbs up, though. With noting versus scope Australians for training, they can fall a bit short. In fact, all German infantry basically can fall short against them. Once they get scopes, rifles, and the training, and a good amount of experience going. So once they actually see, they get ludicrously.
The beggars are threatening a fuel point.
Enemy rifle. They're having a go.
South side 2-3 going to move to try and keep the British from advancing too far there. Sharp play by Thien. Jaeger's doing what they can around there. North flank punch withdrawing. Tony, of course, may soon decide to tag up, pull for tanks here versus Thien. We'll have to see. Got the first Starstorm squad out here.
TDs ready for construction.
Okay, just go straight for the Archer. I mean, that's an option too. And another Indy 4230. No, cancel it. No, it doesn't cancel it. Sam actually cancelled it for some reason. But that's something else getting cancelled entirely. So Australians right here by the mighty Starstorm and the MD-42. Got the Archer on the move there. 17-pounder gun mounted on a Valentine tank chassis. Backwards though. Starstorm again taking immense amount of damage from the Australians. Again, very quickly just lost half the squad. And he's going for the flank here. Also, taking a lot of damage because they're very, very fast. I'd say there's actually an incredibly good chance to get wiped. Unless he gets very... And there you go, wipe happened. Further south, the Australians totally over the Wirbelwind. Pioneers also poking about.
Destroyers are available.
And there goes Sappers getting shredded here by the MD-42s. Keep shooting, Jungs!
Sector lost. Repeat. Sector
Don't let
lost.
anyone get back! They'll attack more! Ace Australian... Oh, not near Ace Australian section there. This thing. 8 the Ace. Yeah. Close than that. Getting mowed down there. 29 there. Again, these 2 Australian sections, once more, over half of all the casualties inflicted. on the Germans this battle. And in fact, he's almost got all three of them upgraded. I think it's just that one there that needs to be upgraded then. Even then, that might just be because for some reason the weapons get hit away there once they are retreating. So they might in fact already be upgraded. I just can't tell. No, they haven't been upgraded. Well. Germans maintain a firm grip on the centre. Do you think Tonimontana might be over-focusing here? Should try more to likely gain control of the rest of the map, but probably wants the centre because he then like form up a more defensive, cohesive position by linking up north-south victory points, for example, rather than going for south and north, at which point he has to like set up a much larger defense, and he may not want to do that. Meanwhile, more Starsturm for Thien, more elite infantry that is slightly less allergic to the Australians. Still aggressively so.
Field upgrade, lads. We hear you've got trouble. And you'll later. Listen up.
Bit of quiet here as I think Tonimontana trying to figure out the next move. Thien could soon go for the Panther 4, though he may also start to go for the Sturmpanzer. It is also not impossible that Thien is just thinking, you know what, I've got such a lead, I'm just going to try and hold up for a Tiger tank, apply so much pressure on my opponent, and then try and just close it out with the Tiger. That is a definite line of thought there. But there you go, strength up for flanking those machinists. Can hit it, archers, guns, just everything firing at them. Force me retreat here. Further south, the sappers by the southern fuel point quickly hold by a Starstorm and the combo out of Thien and the 21st Panzerschorn. The Humber in there forming a defensive position, halting the advancing Australian. Archer joining in, engaging with the 17-pounder gun. Starstorm doing what he can against the Australians, immediately losing Friedrich there. Friedrich there, knocked out. Another sting blow to Thien and das Vaterland. You got the Starstorm here just getting picked apart there by the Australians.
We've 100 points left.
Meanwhile, Starstorm catching one of the guns, in this case just the 2-pounder though. Down to lose, second 6-pounder gun actually getting knocked out. But there you go, Australians showing it, immediately dropping one. Again, see that in a matter of seconds now down to just less than half strength, but also just quarter health. And again, as soon as merge, boom, happens again. Like the Australians can really pack out some intense amounts of damage once they get going. 34 casualties inflicted. Another archer out here. There you go, Archer's going great down the flag punch. The Australians, they are finally taking some heavier losses, but it's going to take a bit of while for Thien to get there. Starstorm poking in there. Close to losing a pioneer squad here to the Aussies. He needs to withdraw here. Again, feels like a no commitment. Also, probably should look like just destroy these anti-tank guns because he's definitely giving Thien a chance like to rebuild his forces by capturing some of his opponent's guns and then turning against the archers, which, well, Tonimontana would represent a bit of a problem. 79 versus 406.
Archer tank destroyers are available.
I do think double archers might be a bit of a commitment there by Tony. He probably wants to go for regular tanks back over Australians. That said, obviously it's going to make it much tougher for Thien to use any tanks. In a Tiger tank may have to be a bit careful in the face of two archers.
We're losing a victory point to enemy action.
I'm hit.
Australians still hard at work here.
Victory point lost. The enemy
Machine gun there getting absolutely focused on by them. Yes, they're getting shot to bits as well. And that's two ace Australian sections now out here for Tonimontana, which is an absolute headache and a half for Thien's infantry. Nothing like a straight up nightmare. Since they've actually free, they basically get a bit of the same ability that the Pathfinders and the Jaegers in CoH3 have, meaning they could just pick off units if they become low enough health. Sort of a decent chance there. Which on a mainline infantry unit, in a sense like the Australians, is definitely very, very powerful. Grenade assault's been used here to try and keep the Australians aggressively here. Got the Stars achieving that glorious victory too here. 57 to 397. Like, the gap continues to grow though in terms of victory points, and Tonimontana, he's like, going elsewhere. Again, feels like I think he's overcommitting to the center, which makes it much easier for Thien's like control, more crucially, just not have to defend the rest of the map.
One last stand, gentlemen. We've only 50 points left.
49 points left.
Closing on us.
Tonimontana really needs to push for those other victory points. We got a heavy machine team out now.
Sector to the enemy.
Anti-tank and Sea have been both seized here by the German Reich. Not just going for there, go Jaegers. Oh, they're there. Merging them. Trying to keep the strength. There go grenade off it. Sappers taking the brunt of it. Machine gun there being left to basically sacrifice itself against the countless Australians. In fact, might just go up in with the retreat bonus active here. Thankfully, though, the Australians here, the ace level ones, were suppressed, so they couldn't quite get as much, damage going. Very close call there. But that's it. Black Panther this. Exposed. Archers letting loose here. Got one Europed. The end's kind of persistently close towards the Tiger tank. Still taking a while to get there. 43 to 89. Starstorm suppressed. Got this others turning into the Australians, get ace level here. One has still been upgraded with the scope to the Enfield, but you can see they just massive amounts of damage inflicted. Other squad here about, I think, to get wiped out unless Thien has some absolute fiendish luck there. Glenn Covenant attempt to save it, but yeah, no dice there. Starstorm annihilated. That said, of course, he could have like, try and withdraw through here and then hit retreat. Always something to consider. Of course, the anticipate retreat path and what might be carrying for your opponent. Like, always try and keep the exit plan in mind.
The enemy has claimed
The northern victory point again. Back to bleeding against opponent. Thien with more Starstorm, delaying his Tiger tank here, but I'm guessing he's not in a rush with it due to, of course, the double archers. There we go. Wiped another anti-tank and crew here. Australians rushing the centre back up for the big kiss. The Australians are getting absolutely mowed down here by the Flak Panzer. Vickers already there, Betsinti too. Going for the other two victory points. And then withdrawing from the southern victory point. But there you go. Finally, the Tiger tanks arrive to support the German army. Achtung, Achtung, schwerer Panzer. Second schwerer Panzer Kompanie. Oh, definitely give Tonimontana additional problems on top of the current state of his victory points. Of course, he does have two archers. He can, at least in some respects, do a lot of damage to it very fast. But it can also do a lot of damage to his infantry very fast. And it's really the infantry in many respects that's keeping Tonimontana in this game. First shot bounces off the Tiger tank's frontal armor. Very lucky there for Thien. Second shot went through. Third shot went through. Almost got down to half health already. And there you go. Captured 2-pounder gun leg loose plus the captured 6-pounder gun. Almost taken up there one of Tony's archer tank destroyers.
Enemy rifles! They're having a grenade!
34 to 49. I mean, at least Tonimontana is trying to close the gap between them, but it's a hell of a gap.
Where are we going?
Vickers MG, ready.
Got the Vickers sneaking southwards. Archers are being fixed up. 120 troops on 4. Casualty wise, Tony continues to have a sort of small lead there with Thien. At this stage, certainly a little less impressive compared to like at the earlier stages of the match. Starstorm being faced off with the Vickers. Australians there, they're ground the southern victory point is nice and quiet. Praying for another assault in the centre and up north. Osney in the point there. But there you go. Flakman's getting the double archers. Could he knocked out? Yeah, in fact, one of the archers with veterans who won. There you go. Flakman's are down. This one actually does get some big rate of fire bonuses and accuracy bonuses. Basically, you can actually shoot faster even more, which is, I think, concerning for the Tiger Tank's crew.
Is it load bearing? Then it's fixed.
Our victory point is being overrun.
There you go. Other archer gaining message as well there.
Awaiting instructions.
Almost got the Tiger Tank already, just 2 volleys.
Has control.
And the remaining Grenadier squad here is gone. Or was that another Stassum squad? Hard to tell here what's going on. Well, the Australians are just continually melting infantry here. This one still hasn't been upgraded with a scoped the Enfields here.
Our tank crews will be better trained in no time.
And he's going for the archers, trying to force away those Tommies. We've got 34 to 97. And we got Tonimontana with that armor transport to boost his archers even more. And of course, some of them might actually hit veteran feet significantly faster, and of course get some extra bonuses once they get there. So, yep, there we go. Very close now to veteran defeat there. Both of them. And of course, combined with the training bonuses, definitely is going to be bad news for Thien's Tiger. But the Stars from Ace-Low there, absolutely go there. Now the Starsum's got away the Thien. Thumbs up. Yeah, I want to go for the officers' quarters for the sake of this future Starsum and the Tiger Tank plus other armor. 25 points left. Clock is ticking here. Tonimontana. Pioneers with the Australians. Straight into mine. The good mine here with Thien. Obviously, otherwise, vicious Australian defense. And there go archers into the anti-tank guns there. Definitely did not do due diligence in terms of reconnaissance lying here. Thien, a nice little anti-tank pushback there. Going for the Stars. Actually retreats here, doesn't want to risk it. Archers still being hung down here by the German guns. The south side here is Vickers being outmaneuvered by the Pioneers. Tony's feeling a bit of a squeeze here versus Thien. Also, entertaining there's just been left abandoned. There we go. And he just went for the officers' quarters there. Yes, he did. So, Starsum there and the Tiger Tank now veterans you want.
We're losing a
North.
victory point.
Starsum couldn't force withdraw there in the face of a fresh assault there. The Australians there. With their scoped rifles. And their veterans here, 3. Almost got them here. Looks like the veterans here. The Starsum does occupy them with some fairly tough bonuses. Allows them to survive the sheer wrath of the Australians. Teague on the move there. Come on, Jürgen. They have to advance as a front line and stop the Australians. Who knows what they might do otherwise. Yeah. Big health bonuses. Well, the Starstorm definitely making them just a bit less likely to get obliterated. Archers once on the move, over repaired so they can absorb a few more hits.
The enemy has our victory point now.
Looking out for another head assault here against Thien in the centre. There you go, anti-tanks laying loose in the archer tank destroyers. Tony, though, definitely think needs to work on Benjamin's tactics because it's really making things easier at the end that Tony just constantly, relies on very linear attack patterns, making it easy to predict. And also, just the ability of teams not have to, worry about any sudden surprises out of the flanks. Got 20 points left versus opponents 94. I mean, the game in a sense has been close, but otherwise it's still pretty massive overall. Archers did again. One only went got the shot through this time around though. Baker's routed. Up north, Starstorm Mace going in there. Go met by the Australians. A lot of damage there. We almost got a Pioneer squad. Tiger rushing in here. Shoots, hits the building himself, the Australians. The stinging blow there to German pride. And there you go, double archer, both ace level. This is dangerous for the Tiger Tank and the net tank going down. Tiger exploded. Massive win there for Tonimontana against Thien. absolutely decimating the center. Australians keep pulling through now. We've got a Sturmpanzer on the way there. MD42 team in. Deep sauerkraut here. What an absolutely brutal blow here. We got another Starstorm squad on the way there for Tony. For Thien, not for Tony. Well, I'm guessing it's for Tonimontana to shoot at, but not for him to control. Unless they're suddenly adding British necromancers to the game.
Where are we going?
Third Starstorm squad out here for Thien.
Infantry closing on us!
13 to 289. I mean, Thien is definitely facing larger and larger difficulties here, but at the same time, if you can just grab those victory points all at the same time, he definitely has a shot to close this match out still, but it's not going to be easy. There's the Vickers, there's the many very veteran Australians. Fun enough, this one still hasn't been, you know, upgraded with the scope in the Enfield. We can just get 3 of them at the same time, maybe just 2 of them hold up for long enough. The end still has a chance to close this up, but again, in other ways, things start to like kind of snowball out of control for him slowly there. Like, he's not quite hit with like, you know, really like becomes an avalanche of trouble, but it's not ideal. Of course, he also has breakthrough. There you go. Big Australian horde here. Immediately just completely turns the northern push into nothing, as there's no way that a lone Starstorm squad, even an ace, can like just survive for very long against 4 vets and 3 Australian squads. But at least, mercifully, only 3 of them upgraded. There you go, trying to flank around here. There you go, push in the center. MD42 in trouble here. Archers being forced to withdraw. Anti-tanks letting loose. Need to get the machine against the open Northern Australians here. Going in hard here. MD42 push back. The Australian swarm continues. Almost got the Vickers there, but it's not enough. And the MD42 go up the Australians. Just completely decimated. And he retreats? That must have been a misclick there out of Tonimontana. There is no other way this isn't like a misclick. But there he goes, can't retreat. Like, I don't know why you retreat otherwise. Maybe one in one section retreat, the others not to. But either way, this is huge. This might be where Thien just wins, because now there's nothing on the front lines. You can just rush the victory points, pop the breakthrough, immediately start grabbing them, and then just, you know, buy the time he needs. Starts on the top of the Vickers machine. Australians angrily charging forwards. Blend can't be used here to try and block. The Australians are just sniping it too easily away there from max distance. Archers rolling ahead, but they can't do much against the infantry here. Starstorm letting loose. MD42 placing away, but it's not enough. Not against the Australian as they charge in ya. More blend carbers. 10 points left. No breakthrough activated. Really should activate breakthrough. Starstorm being overwhelmed here. 8 points left. Got the southern point running neutral. 6 points left. Units are getting wiped. Again, he activated breakthrough. I can understand why didn't. He's like too preoccupied with everything's going on, but just activate breakthrough. Boom. All these points that have just been very quickly his, and I think it'll split out. But it looks like he might still have it here, maybe not. It's gonna be close though. No. Got the southern victory point ceased again. Had he activated breakthrough, that would have been GG. But he didn't. And he also, oh dear, he lost his veteran T3 Starstorm. Yeah, at this point, I think his best bet is just a breakthrough-fueled push here. Maybe even consider calling in the mechanized assault group just to rush in something in a half-track to grab the point there under, you know, Tonimontana's nose. As for Tony, this is where, like, having some tanks really would have helped him, like, control the map much better. Got the Vickers there on the way, alongside his other Vickers. I think Thien might be trying to go for another Tiger, but yeah, I think just rushing in a mechanized assault group there would probably serve a lot better. And of course using breakthrough. There we go, breakthrough activated, there we go. Tony there, realizing he's getting pushed at 2 points. How to respond to this? He's got a Vickers on over towards the south, and may not be fast enough. Not against breakthrough. Starstorm going for the flank here, getting up behind, anticipating with Vickers coming in the center. Sharp play there. In the south, Samples pushed off, got the northern point. Australians here, 2 of them, caught by the MD42. Going for the southern point. Vickers letting loose here, but he's got breakthrough. Renders it neutral.
has our victory.
Forced
point
away here,
now.
strange machines he was able to turn around and fast enough. There you go. Smoke from the Jaegers, allowing the Pioneers to grab the point. Vic is being pushed forwards, but it's not enough. He can contest the point with the Pioneers. 3 points left. 2 points left, and with this, Thien narrowly pulls through a win there. It's also got another tag tank. There you go. GG, game over.
It's over.
Bit of a brutal match there. I do think Thien got lucky there that Tonimontana had a bit of tendency over-focusing certain points on the map there more than the rest, allowing Thien to really push for map control, because otherwise, had those Australians been handled more, I think, creatively, that could have been a much bigger problem there again for Thien. As you can see, the Australian DPS, the ability to just consume infantry is like nuts. Also, double arch is nice, but just had some extra tanks to keep things going. Like even maybe Stuarts, I think also have a lot with the map control. So again, there were some choices I think made there by Tonimontana that really ensured that Thien just had a chance to close out the match there towards the end. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match, and see you all tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye everyone.